What is going on, everybody? Yesterday, Don Fall stepped down from CrossFit HQ. What does that mean now? Talking about it next.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no, I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me.
It's lunchtime. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Lunch with the Clydesdale. If you guys could just see what happens behind the scenes. I tell Corey we're going to go live. I count us down. And then StreamYard says, no, you're not. Nope. Sorry about your luck. We're going to make you pause for a second.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the wheel starts spinning. And you're like, oh, shit, we're going live.
Oh, no, we're actually doing this. I'm sorry. It's fantastic.
Oh, the stupid stuff that happens. We're trying to launch this show. So what is going on? We've got the cowboy with us today, and he froze his cojones off yesterday, trying to feel better after 26.1. Literally froze his cojones off, trying to get ready for 26.2. But he is better for it, and he slept like a baby.
I did. I absolutely did. If anybody's seeing their PT regularly, like I used to see mine, I've been pretty healthy up until 26.1. Yay. But went and saw Jeremy yesterday morning. Shout out to Cypress Physical Therapy. Several locations in and around Louisiana if you need them. Needled me, did some cupping all up on my left leg just because my left knee, dude. Like during the day, Monday, my thighs felt less like I had got hit by a baseball bat, but as that went away, my knee got tighter and tighter and tighter, and then to the point where Monday night, like Thursday or no Thursday, I couldn't get comfortable to stay asleep, right? So went to him yesterday morning, needles, the whole 9 yards, and the thing was like, let's go get in the cryo tank. And I was like, what do you mean by let's? Because I feel like it's going to be me in there and you standing outside of it laughing at me while I freeze to death. And he was like, yeah, pretty much. It's like, cool. All right. Negative 166 degrees for 3.5 minutes. I don't know if you noticed or not, but that's cold. Like
cold enough to freeze your cojones off.
Frozen to freeze your Winnebago, as Fozzie Bear used to say. My legs and like my lower half felt normal when I got out, right? But like everything up here, traps, upper back, all that whole area, I was like this by the time I got out of it. Gloves, mittens, booties, the thing to cover your ears,
he just
mask.
said booties.
I did say booties. the whole 9 yards. And I got in. As I was getting in, Jeremy said, go to your happy place. And I was like, oh, thanks, because that's not terrifying at all. And then, yeah, stood out, got in it, stood there for 3.5 minutes listening to Chris Stapleton on the headphones, and was worried to death that my contacts were going to freeze to my eyeballs. They didn't. By the way, they did not, but I did keep my eyes closed like 90% of the time, which is just as well, because when I opened them, all I could see was my reflection in the glass because it was so freaking fogged over. All I could see was me anyway. But I don't know if it was a combination, if it was just that or a combination of that and my knee feeling better after the rest of the treatment. But I slept like an absolute rock last night, and I woke up feeling, I won't say superhuman, but I woke up feeling pretty damn good this morning. So,
and if you want to sleep like a rock, you can order Thursday at thursday.com/Jazzy. Use Jazzy checkout to get 25% off through the CrossFit Open. 25% off right now. Mama Schweitzer did that yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's jumping on the Thirdsy gang.
I mean, she listens every day, doesn't she?
If you're on, she does. She listens for you, not me. So, yeah.
She's the best.
Speaking of the opposite of Thirdsy, you have told me that Serial Killer C4 is the best flavor ever. I can't understand the concept, but I have a can here. Hasn't even been opened. Never tried it. I'm going to try it right now. And I have 11 more of these. So if I don't like it, it's getting shipped to Corey at some point.
I got Venmo. I'm just saying.
But here we go.
Live reaction, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Well, he didn't gag.
Not at all what I expected.
Right?
Not at all. It tastes like
like
Fruity Pebbles. It's like Fruity Pebbles. Yep. But not with milk. It's a weird because it's not dry Fruity Pebbles. It's wet Fruity Pebbles, but not milky wet. So it's weird.
It's a weird mouthfeel, but the taste is there.
It is. It tastes like Fruity Pebbles.
Isn't that amazing?
It does. Yeah. Yeah. You're not getting it. It'll stay. Yeah.
I'm counting that as a win, even though I'm gonna end up. I'm gonna need a new. I think I got 4 or 5 left in my 12-pack. I need to get some more. I told you, dude. Like we had this whole conversation you and I did a couple of days ago or last week, whenever that was, and I was like, I know how weird it sounds, but holy smoked is good.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it in my like top 3.
Yeah,
but it's definitely
that's fair.
Road tripping, I would drink it, and enjoy it, but it's not Green Apple Jolly Rancher. It's not, in my what I would consider my top 3, but it's good. I
like the unique stuff and the stuff that tastes exactly like what it says it's supposed to. And that's why I like that, because I didn't know what to expect. And I was lucky enough while we was at Fitness of the Coast, we ran across a convenience store that sold them like individually, right? I didn't have to buy a whole 12-pack. And me and Dwayne were like, okay, let's see. Did the same thing you did. Cracked it open, took a sip, and was like, oh, this is actually pretty good.
Yeah. You know what's not good? You sent me a reel the other day of you doing a box jump to Whitney Houston. It got me demonetized.
No way.
Yep, it got me demonetized. And so I don't care about the money piece of demonetization, right?
Right.
I could care less. It's maybe $1.50 I lose.
Right.
For the thing, right? But when you get demonetized, you don't get pushed anymore. Oh. So the video and you get blocked in like 50 some countries and whatever, right. But because YouTube can't make any money on it, because the money goes to Arista Records, they're the ones that filed the claim. It doesn't get pushed because YouTube doesn't make any money on it.
That's annoying.
So it's like now that show we did on Monday is like the lowest show views we've had in weeks. And it just sucks.
Thank you, dude.
It's not out there and there's this thing called fair use on the internet and YouTube where you're allowed to use a song as long as you're not replicating it in a way that makes it an alternative to streaming the actual song.
Right. Basically, you're not doing a cover to make money off of it, so the artist doesn't get the money.
Right. And I think Arista Records is doing okay. I don't know.
I would say that. Yeah.
But
I don't think they're late on the light bill.
But literally, we played the silence to the drum beat to then Whitney singing a couple seconds. Yeah, we played it like 4 times, but it was that same little. In no way are people going, ooh, now I don't have to go to Spotify or I don't have to go somewhere to listen to the full song.
Thank God I don't have to buy it from Apple Music now. I got this reel.
It is so dumb. And
It's ridiculous.
and I've said it on this show before. I listen to a lot of music podcasts. Rick Beato, Professor of Rock are two of my favorites. They're getting hammered by this. They're getting hammered by this so bad that they've had to hire attorneys to fight these claims just so their channel can survive.
That's so stupid.
And those guys, like, they have 5 million subscribers, right?
Yeah.
I got 3,000, right?
Did we get to 3,000 yet?
No, we're getting there, but we're not there quite yet.
Yeah, so not even quite knocking on the door of 3,000.
But these guys, it's their living. And the fact that these record companies are using AI bots to go find the snippet of their song and file a copyright claim so they can claim the 50 cents and the $1.50 off of all of these plays is utterly ridiculous.
100%.
It's so dumb. And like the Professor of Rock, he has people copying his entire show and putting it out on their own channel so that they get the monetization, and he doesn't see a cent of it. And that is allowed to happen. It is like the YouTube world is crazy.
That's back.
And AI is making it easier for these people to do this wild stuff.
It's ass backwards.
And I love those shows. And I know Andrew Sten is a big Professor of Rock guy. David Letterman is a big Professor of Rock guy. He tells stories about how the song was created or about the artist and how they came up. And it's just stuff I love. So it's
I'm a big fan of that kind of stuff. So if people are screwing that dude out of his rightfully due work at that point, then that's messed up. But to demonetize an entire show because we played a
yeah. Yep. Anyway, I digress. So yesterday we had some big news.
Something happened yesterday?
Something happened during the show yesterday.
Huh.
News broke that the CEO of CrossFit, Don Fall, stepped down from CrossFit.
Effective Friday, right?
Effective Friday. 3 days notice. Our short adventures. If it's a song I haven't heard in a while, I'm more likely to go stream it. Yes, that is what Beato and Professor of Rock say. We're honoring a song so that you go listen to it, so that you go buy it, that maybe you go buy the vinyl because you haven't heard it in a while. But yeah, anyway, I could go all day on that. Don Fall steps down yesterday. There were predictions that this was going to happen. I don't think the timing was ideal.
You think?
And we say this all the time, like CrossFit gets momentum going in the right direction and something always happens.
Yeah. You get ahead of steam and somebody goes, well, we can't have that. We can't have that. Let's go ahead. No. This is going way too well. The only way it could have been worse if he'd announced it at 26.2.
Yeah. At least
during it.
After registration closed for the Open. And I watched CrossFit Network yesterday talking about what this means going forward. One of the people I respect more than anything is Matt Souza and his thoughts and his thought process. But I wanted to ask, just pose this question. Does it matter who the CEO is?
Ooh.
So for people who don't know, I have my MBA. I know that has been attacked on other shows, that people with an MBA are not the right fit. But I would argue that it depends on where you got your MBA and the style of MBA that you got. Because I was in person. We didn't read books. We didn't have books tell us this is the way you do things.
Right.
The way I got my MBA is you would go to a class on a certain subject and then you would have discussions with other people in your class about what you thought the right process would be, and we were all adults in my MBA who all had worked in the professional world, who all brought our own experiences, and we learned from each other, and we talked about case studies from companies around the world. And depending on the company and depending on the structure, a CEO matters more or less depending on that.
Sure. I would say, and this is my 2 cents worth of opinion as far as that's concerned, I don't think I really care too much about the educational background of said person, so long as the educational background of that person includes our methodology or community. Can he coach a class? Does he know basic mechanics of a squat? Something along those lines. Do you know what Fran feels like? Do you know have you done Murph more than once because somebody else was just happened to be doing it? You happen to show up at somewhere.
So I'm going to go beyond. We can come back to that. I want to talk about the structure.
Okay.
When Berkshire bought CrossFit, it is now run by a board.
Correct.
It is not run by a CEO. When Greg ran it, it was a one-person entity. And when he hired a CEO, the CEO still had to report to Greg Glassman. Now you have a board of directors that the CEO has to report to. And the CEO only gets one vote on that board. And most boards are designed where the CEO is only the tiebreaker.
Right.
So in those formats, the CEO comes up with ideas, comes up with plans that have to be then presented to the board and be approved. So at the end of the day, the CEO does not have the power to change the way we're doing CrossFit. He can only present to the board what he thinks is, or she thinks is, the right thing to do, and the board still has to approve it. So I think we're so used to Greg running the show as the sole owner of the company, and he had complete autonomy to do whatever he wanted to do. The minute we go to a structure with a board, all of a sudden you are beholden to whatever that board decides. And the CEO is just the face who then has to come back and say, this is what we're doing. And it may not even be their idea.
On top of that, what are the odds that the people on that board are all truly invested in what's actually going on day to day in CrossFit, and or probably more invested in what their returns are on their investment? Does that make sense? Like, it's a board. What do they know about how affiliates are doing? What are they only know what people tell them, if that, and do they give a shit? That's the real question. Do they even care? Do they even know, aside from, hey, these are what the numbers look like last month, these are what the numbers are going to look like next month, next year, 5 years, whatever the case is?
We don't, they are nameless, faceless people on this board, right?
That's what I'm getting
We have no idea who they are. There was a rumor that they went to Mayhem and they talked to Rich and they did a tour and they walked around. If the board actually did stuff like that and we knew it, and that's what and they actually had made informed decisions, then a board is okay. But I don't know if did they go to any other affiliate, or did they just go to Mayhem?
Yeah, because Mayhem is a really specific sample size,
right? And 98% of affiliates are not Mayhem.
My affiliate could fit inside of Mayhem
3 times.
And have plenty of room left to spare. Do they go to the 1,000 square foot garage, for all intents and purposes, that has 70 members and is barely surviving? That's where they need to go.
So Mike says we need a Greg like CEO. My argument is it just doesn't matter if the board doesn't allow them the autonomy to be like Greg.
I think that's what Mike's getting at, is that we need there needs to not, like, private equity was a terrible decision.
But when someone purchases a company, it's not us, the consumer, who gets to decide what that makeup is going forward, right?
You're not wrong.
Right? They came in with the money and they bought the thing. And then we're just left with, right? With whatever they decide, however they think they can make money. And I've argued for the last 5 years that when that happened, there is no more North Star other than a bottom line. And that's all that they have told us. They want to make money. They want to resell the company and make more money. And if that is your North Star, you're not the right people to run this company.
Greg made his money by doing the exact opposite of that. By putting out his product and people coming to him once they saw how good it was. If you do something well enough, people are going to pay you to do it over and over and over again. It's not the other way around.
Jan says Dan Chaffee. Here, so I'm watching all these shows and everybody's throwing out names of people they think would be awesome. And I think Daniel Chaffee would be awesome if he was allowed to be Daniel Chaffee.
Correct.
None of it, the name does not matter if the board does not allow them to be who they are.
Yeah, because at this point, I could be CEO. If I have to do what these people tell me to do.
Now, the only difference the name makes is how convincing they are to the board, how well they put together a strategic plan to show the board how it works for them. But at the end of the day, it still comes down to the board to listen. And if the board doesn't listen, it doesn't matter if it's Matt Souza in the chair, Greg Glassman in the chair, or Daniel Chaffee in the chair. Because they are one vote. And if the 12 people on the board or the 8 people on the board think another way and it goes 8-1, CEO's got to do what the board says.
And the worst part about that is that whoever is in that CEO position, when we, the people, for better or for worse, find out about that, then that poor guy gets crucified for not doing anything or not being able to do anything, when in reality, his hands are actually tied from the get-go.
I heard both Matt and Peter and Sevon yesterday say, when you meet Don Fall, he is a very likable person.
I'm sure.
He is. Like, my first meeting with him was Wadapalooza 23, right after he became CEO. Saw him in Pasadena later that year, and he remembered me and came up and shook my hand. Like, it takes a special person to remember names.
Absolutely.
Of all the people they run into. The problem is his hands were tied. He wasn't going to get to do any of what he wanted to do. And if the board said 30 million CrossFitters, that's what he had to come out and say, or he wasn't going to be CEO anymore.
Which is an absurd thing to say, but you're right. Like, and if you have to say that, you're saying that knowing that it's an absurd thing to say. Oh, well, we want to put 30 million CrossFit. We want 30 million people doing CrossFit.
Yeah. And I don't know whose plan it was. It may have been his plan. I don't know.
Right. But will you ever?
CrossFit is a private company, so we can never, ever see their books.
Correct.
Right? Unless they sell stock and they have to publicly show you the books, we're not privy to that information.
And I'm sure Don signed some sort of NDA so that we might never know if he can come back and go, hey, by the way, I didn't want that. I didn't say that. I didn't want to say that. That was not me. That was Janice over here on the board thinking that was a great idea. Well, what if we get 30 million people to do CrossFit? Ideally, yeah, that would be amazing if 30 million people did CrossFit. Probably not going to happen.
Mike says, let's get Dana White just to buy it and then hand the keys back to Greg, and he can just let Greg do what he does and make a lot of money in the background.
Greg doesn't want it.
Right. And Greg's not about making money.
No, he's got plenty.
And we romanticize the past because nostalgically we look at it and say it was awesome. But it was Greg who got rid of the media department. It was Greg who shut down all the social media channels. Greg did all that.
Yeah.
And so that was the beginning of the downward trend, not the sale. Greg, up until 2018, said CrossFit was a media company. And in 2018, we lost our way. When he axed the thing that he said we were, that's when it started the downward trend. The sale was just the nail in the coffin.
Big time.
So if you look at just that incident, if I'm Dana White, can you trust Greg to do what's best for the company at all times? Or is he going to get upset at some posts on Facebook and shut down every social media channel?
Yeah, no, Greg's not the answer, much as everybody wants him to be. He's just not.
I think he's a great mentor. I think he's a great scientist, scientific mind.
Absolutely.
But it's not as simple as just putting a new name in that seat.
People want it to be simple. Simple, not easy, right? Simple, not easy.
Never that.
This is not simple, nor is it going to be easy.
Right.
And God bless them, whoever the next person is going to get scrutinized like they're underneath the microscope again. And it doesn't matter. It could be Dave. They could announce Dave as CEO in the next 15 minutes. And people are going to be up in arms about it. And, well, be all up in their feelings and whatnot. It really doesn't matter. Whoever is going to end up being it is going to get it from out of left. It could be Matt Souza, who people are screaming at the top of their lungs should be in charge of this entire thing. But again, even if it was, who I would be extremely pleased with, because he has a very good way. He's very eloquent. He has a very good way of getting his points across, seeming to be able to make things happen. But if you're answering to a board who, by the way, probably have no idea what CrossFit actually is, who are probably
nameless, faceless people, we don't even know who they are.
Correct.
We don't know if they have CrossFit background. We have no idea.
The odds of them knowing what it is, having done it before, even having an inkling of anything beyond ESPN and the CrossFit Games, slim to none, I would say.
And I see the chat throwing tons of names out there. I argue it does not matter. As long as Berkshire is at the helm, the board runs the company. The CEO is the figurehead that goes out and has to say what's going on. Now, the only power the CEO has is the power of persuasion. And that is presenting a plan to the board and persuading them to go in that direction. But at the end of the day, the ultimate decision is the board.
Big time.
So we can throw every name you want under the sun into this basket, and it doesn't freaking matter.
Not at all.
It doesn't matter unless the board says, we've sucked at this for 6 years, so we are giving you full autonomy, or the person coming in can convince the board to do what needs to be done.
To convince them that they've sucked for 4 years and I need total autonomy.
Right. That's it.
That's it. That's the honest truth at that point.
So
why
that
aren't you making any money? Well, here's why you're not. Here's why you haven't. Like
right.
you have to be able to go in there and have enough brass in between your legs to walk in there and throw that kind of stuff down. Come with numbers, come with facts, come with figures, come whatever you need to, and just tell them, hey, look, this is why. And they're either going to listen to you or they're going to throw you out. One of the two. It's been my experience that there's not a whole lot of middle ground in there, right? You're going to go in there with people who are higher up than you. They're either going to respect you for telling them the truth or they're not going to want to hear it and throw you clean out of the room.
Frida says no CEO, a new owner, not owners instead.
That would be ideal.
The owner has to have the right vision too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just can't be new. It's got to be new and right.
Yeah.
If I were CEO for a day, I would bite the bullet and go grab up. So how did Greg come up with CrossFit? He took the best of every movement, put it together, and made CrossFit. If I am the new CEO of CrossFit, I go out and I say, hey, Metfix, we want the best of what you got. Let's take it. Hey, WFP, we want the best of what you got. Let's take it. Let's move forward. Instead of dealing with all these disruptors in the space, gobble them up. Work together.
What's where I'm looking for?
Pillar it out so that the company makes sense. Right now, you have pillars combined together that are meshing in a way that is really hard to differentiate who is who and what job is this person doing. There are no clear jobs at CrossFit. That's where I would start.
There are worse places to start, I would think.
But again, I can have this great idea, but if I can't convince the board of it, none of it matters.
Yeah. I mean,
to convince a board you got to spend money to make money is a really tall hill to climb.
I would think business people at that level, they should anyway know that, like, nothing's free. Nothing's free. This is what we're going to have to do. You're not going to like it, but long term, it is going to pay off. Why? Because you bought this thing from somebody for what you thought it was worth. Then they built it to what you thought it was worth. So if we do these things here, we can get it back up there and then even go beyond. But you have to be willing to spend the money initially.
Larry says, hopefully Xenom takes off. Everyone recycling the same names, same shit. Living glory days, wondering why it's not attracting new young people. That's only one part of CrossFit. If you're the CEO, you have to focus on all of it. And that's what I'm saying. It's this blob of stuff right now because nobody has a clear direction for what they do. You have a sport piece, you have a training piece, you have an affiliate piece. You have all these things going in some kind of direction, maybe, and maybe not all of those are a good thing. There is no clear-cut direction for any of them because they're all kind of blobbed together.
Sad but true.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the Dawnfall stuff. That's what I wanted to get off my chest.
I wanted to bring it. So Larry Young saying companies looking to buy CrossFit, seeing the same names and workouts, have to say, is there nothing else? That's what they bought.
But he's saying prospective buyers in the future don't see anything new.
there's not a whole lot of new to beat. There's only so many ways you can do thrusters and pull-ups.
Yeah. I could argue that, but we don't have enough time in a lunch show at this point anyway. There are people out there doing new and creative things.
Oh, I 100%. Absolutely. Most of it's in the competition space.
But the base of it all is the affiliates and getting people in the door to work out, right? To have fun and make it their best hour of their day. Like, when was the last time, other than the podcast itself, you heard the term like the best hour of your day? Nobody even talks about that anymore. It's about going and hanging out with your friends and getting a little fit. And because of your friends and who you hang out with, you start eating better, you start having better nutrition, and all of a sudden you start living life a little bit more.
One of the best snowball effect I've ever experienced in my entire life.
I mean, I went from stuck on the couch at 500 and whatever pounds to going to a CrossFit gym, being on a softball team, being on a flag football team, doing all this stuff that I never imagined I'd do late into my 40s.
I just got a picture of you on a flag, like running a ball back with flags hanging off your waist.
I was the center, dude.
And okay.
More like blocking, but I was an eligible receiver. I did have a couple catches.
But yeah, David is correct right there. You are CrossFit. Just from what you just said right there, right? Off the carbs, off the couch, in the gym, lost a ridiculous amount of weight. All of a sudden, I'm doing things that I never thought I'd be doing.
At a stage in my life that I didn't think it was possible.
Correct. That a lot of people still don't. Scott, I'm going to be 49 next month and on April the 17th. And I know people that I graduated high school with, which does not seem like it was 30 years ago, right? Who look twice my age, who act twice my age. Oh, man. I mean, you know how old we are. Uh-huh. I know how old you probably feel, and I know why. But, like, that's not a conversation everybody's willing to have. It's how do we get more of those people to, hey, bro, you don't have to accept that. It's not something that you have to accept and just go, well, I'm almost 50. I guess this is what comes with it, because it's not. It's not.
Larry Young says, I wanted to grow too. I'm just pointing out it's always the same answers. That's what I'm trying to do today. I'm trying not to give you the same answer. I'm trying to give you an understanding of the structure of the way CrossFit is built today, not how it was built in 2002, but how it's built today and the limits that the CEO has on them. Yeah. So no matter what name you plop into that position, they don't have the power that we think they do. I'm trying to give a different perspective on this whole thing than some of the other shows. Because I'm not, and this is not a brag. I have an MBA. I've studied business. I've done case studies. I've done a thesis on how to make a company better. I've done a lot of things like this. It's not as easy or simple as the absolutes that we throw out there sometimes.
Yep.
Corey, you don't look a year over 40.
Lito, if you ask my wife, she'd probably tell you I don't act a year over 17, so it's fine.
David says, we're planning our 30th reunion now, and I can't wait to show up to that.
David, so mine is coming up. Or mine was last year. I did not go. But I told my wife I really, 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 really wanted to go just to walk in there looking like I look and show
Shirtless.
off. Like,
shirtless?
If I could help it. Yeah. If I could have walked in there shirtless, you goddamn right I would have. 100%.
David will walk in shirtless.
David walking shirtless. David was massive. That's a big dude. And he absolutely should. Yeah, no, I'd 100% just because, and just to look at everybody else and be like, what? Hey, how's it going?
Vicky says, I never thought I'd be able to climb a rope or do a pull-up, let alone handstand push-ups. I'm almost 52, and now I can do those things because of CrossFit. Bam.
I understand.
Mic
Vicky
drop.
does not look like she's 52, by the way. I gave Vicky 35 at best.
Mike DeVito, we need one new CEO or owner to come in and be the disruptor of fitness industry and push to be the North Star of fitness and not care who doubts it or pushes back. That's how it was built before.
It's a tall order.
Yeah, it's easy to say all of that stuff.
Yeah.
It's another thing to do that stuff. You only feel 80, Vicky, because you just did 26.1.
Correct. Correct.
We all feel 80 after 26.1.
We all got our legs beaten by the wooden baseball bats by the mob last week sometime. It's fine. Some people did it twice. God bless them.
Larry Young, next time I see you, I'm slapping you around, bud. You can do so many things at your age that 99.9% of the population cannot do. I've seen you do muscle ups. I've seen you lift enormous amounts of weight. I have seen you do toes to bar. I've seen you do tons of stuff. Do you, like, sometimes that we're so surrounded by this fitness world that we forget. Do you remember the first time you went to a gym and they said there was a T and a 2 and a B on the board, and you're like, what the hell is that? And you look it up on YouTube and you're like, that isn't even physically possible.
Make it straight. You want to dangle from this bar.
And I'm going to lift my legs up and touch the bar with my toes.
Sounds suspect.
We've just been around it for 10 years. So now you're like, oh, it's just a toe to bar. No, it's not. Remember the first time you saw that and went, holy shit, what are these people doing?
Most of us live, and I preach this to everybody that if you've been in my class, you've probably heard me say this before, but I preach this all the time. We live in our own little bubble, especially as CrossFitters. We live in our own little bubble where we're not really aware or pay that much attention to what's going on around us. But just being able to drop into a squat, that's it. Just drop into the bottom of a squat and just sit there and hold it. You are doing better than 95% of the population, if not 99. It's ridiculous, dude. It's absolutely ridiculous. Look up Peter.
Peter Benoit has a prediction for 26.2. 2, 2, 2, 3, 50 double unders, 10 toes to rings, max ring. You're saying the time is 2 minutes on, 1 minute off? I don't think that. I think that you may be right with the movements. I think your time stuff is probably not going to be done in an affiliate.
Peter, I like where your head's at.
Alito says, we had a girl come in yesterday who had never done a deadlift before. I can't imagine what she might have thought of us. I think that's the point. Like, sometimes you just have to take a step back and remember the first day you walked in. How many of us, when we first walked into a gym, went, some of this stuff isn't even possible. You want me to do 300 air squats in less than an hour?
And we do 300 of anything in under an hour, let alone an air squat. Oh, and we're going to run a mile on either side of it?
Yeah. And then you want me to do how many pull-ups?
Oh, it's good stuff.
When you surround yourself with all of this fitness, you lose perspective in what the real world is.
100%. It's not hard to get it back, though. Go to Walmart. You ain't even got to buy nothing. Just go walk around for a little bit. It's really all you need to do.
Yeah, Lito says, when our members are beating themselves up about their fitness, I just tell them, walk into any supermarket and take a look around them.
That's all you got to do.
Yes, Vicky, that is what you said when you walked into these gyms. You want me to do what?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm gonna need you to. No, there's no way. There's no way.
Yeah. Insanity. Well, with that, we've talked a lot about wild stuff in the CEO and all that kind of stuff and perspective. I did want to share a couple of quick things. I don't know if you saw this, Corey, but there is a new world record for 26.1. Did you see this?
No, I did not. It's fantastic. Boom, boom, boom. That's outstanding. So I told several different people because they were asking about how to hold the ball, and I said if it was me, I would just get somebody else to hold it while I was doing step overs. That just seems like it's the best way to hold the ball while doing step overs. Let somebody else hold it.
You've been saying all week that you couldn't wait for the new reel to drop.
Dude, it's so good.
So here it is.
The very end.
Looking at me like, whoa. Everywhere I go, heads turning, looking at me like, whoa. Kind of feel like I could go 1, 2, 3.
I better use my strong hand.
See, I'm in my zone. Don't speak to me, don't even call my phone. It's about that time when the lights go up, you know that's my sign. And I gotta feel great, cuz.
Bombastic side eye.
You sure about that?
Looking at me like, whoa. Everywhere I go, heads turning, looking at me like, whoa. Everywhere I go, heads turning, looking at me like, whoa.
Wait
About
for
that
it.
time, eh, chaps? Righto.
Awesome, huh?
If you do not know where that last bit comes from, you need to look up The End of the World on YouTube. It's probably on it. Somebody probably has uploaded it to Instagram or whatnot. It used to be one of my favorite Flash videos back in the day. It's absolutely hilarious. We were asking for it. They nailed it. Knocked it out of the park. Loved it.
My favorite part is when Miriam is doing her thing and it says, it comes up and says, she's just a cardio athlete. And they're like, side eye?
Yeah.
And then they show her squatting 360 pounds.
I like at the very beginning too, when they throw let me use my strong hand because Lucy's freaking catching that ball like this, dude. Like, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
And yesterday it did become official. Miriam Von Rohr was named the winner of 26.1, as well as Barney. Are we going to call it Barney?
I was going to go with Bjarni, but the more I look at it, the more I want to call him Barney.
Barney Leafs.
Barney Leafs, which sounds like a brand of something. Like, I got to go to the store and pick up a 12-pack of Barney Leafs.
Yeah. There it is.
Let me use my strong hand.
Anyway, so those are the quick little reels I saw that I thought were cool, and the announcements of who won those events. But yeah, Lito says, I'm pretty sure it was JY who said she's just a cardio athlete.
Which would be
I actually said it one time, and I got corrected quickly by Carolyn. And then
I remember her squatting that dude at the games, and I was like, holy smoke. I was not expecting that at all. It's amazing.
And then you see her legs in person, and you're like, oh, hell yeah, she can squat that.
Makes sense when you can see him up close. Like, oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That checks out.
I get that. Thing. Yeah.
That checks out. I'm sorry. That's my bad. I didn't know.
Yeah. My apologies for calling you a cardio athlete.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh.
And actually, when you look at it, you're like, there's no way she can run fast with that power in her legs.
Yeah. Them two slabs she's got for legs. No.
She's just all about proving us all wrong on everything.
A good owner, dude. I love stuff like that. Like every time Colton wins something he has no business actually winning, I'm like, yep, there we go. And that goes for anybody as well. Like if Jason Hopper won a burpee award, a burpee workout, like that was just straight capacity and beat, I don't know, Colton, I'd be all for it. Like, let's go.
Yeah. Lito actually said at the same time, what's crazy is how good at running she is considering her build.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of us short people have to take like 3 steps to every tall person's 1. I'm gonna tell you that as a.
It's funny you say like you bring up Colton because that is how kind of I look at her, but I think she actually has the potential to be more dominant. Well, to be better overall on a weekend because she does have. It's not as significant a difference between her height and other women,
Correct,
as it is for Colton and other men, and so. Even though she has to overcome some things, it's not as great. And so a 3 or 4 day weekend doesn't do the damage to her like it does to Colton.
Well, look at that picture that they put up of the 4 of them from last week, right? You know damn good and well Colton was standing on the box whenever they took that. He is not as tall as them other 3 dudes.
Frida says, I love seeing the underdog win. Yeah, I don't think she's going to be an underdog for very long.
No,
I think she's going to be perennial top 10.
She is short, you say, but relative to the field, she's not that short.
Right.
100%.
I have no idea how to do custom leaderboards.
I would have to have it, and I would have to pull it up and do it live. I have no idea.
Yeah, sorry, John. But yeah, fun stuff today. I was gonna complain that the starting center for the Chicago Bears decided to retire at 27, which is a devastating blow for the Bears after the season they had, because they fixed the whole interior of their offensive line, became one of the best offensive lines in the league, and Bears fans just can't have nice things.
Well,
but
I would say neither can we as Saints fans, but like I just saw a graphic yesterday about a trade that we made with I forget who it was, but like they just released the dude and like we came out way to the good. Like it's ridiculous. I'd have to go look it up. I'll send it to you when I find it later, dude. It's amazing. Like we are shaping up to actually have a decent season next year. So I'm kind of excited. Might actually watch some NFL.
I think what's happening in the NFL is kids are going to retire earlier. It just the impact, especially being an offensive lineman or a center who has to block 350-pound dudes all day long.
350-pound dudes that is 4.5 40s.
It's ridiculous.
Oh, real quick. Have you seen Jennings Dunker at the combine?
I think so.
Offensive lineman, red mullet. You can't.
Oh, yeah.
He's 340 or 360 pounds, something along those lines. He ran a 5.4 40 earlier this week.
Wow.
Or like a 5.4 5.5, something like that. Some absolutely bananas crazy. And ESPN got him running in slow motion. So the mullet is just like it's just flying, dude.
Yeah, when was the last time though you saw an offensive guard have to run a 40 in a game?
Never.
Right.
I'm trying to think, and I'm like,
do that.
Yeah, not a thing. Oh, John got it figured out. Good job, John George. Hey, you're welcome.
All right, guys. Well, with that, we'll head out for the day. I think we're good for tomorrow.
Yeah.
I have like a family doctor thing at 10. I should be back in plenty of time.
I may or may not, because I'm going to get some more treatment tomorrow morning. So I may or may not. If I make it, I'll let you know if I can make it or not. Depends on how long Jeremy beats on me. And
tomorrow we'll take another look at Dave's Clue. We'll maybe do some predictions for 26-2 and get ready and pumped for the show. Hopefully their stream doesn't get all wonky.
Watercolor doesn't go watercolor. It's all 1992 HBO at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Salvador Dali version of the
Then the satellite's not aligned version.
All right, guys. It was a fun one. Can't wait to talk to you guys soon. See you all tomorrow on Lunch with the Clydesdale. Bye, guys.